Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Mugshot. Today we are going to have our very first female guest in Mugshot, Joanna Joseph, someone who is known for her weight loss progress. She is currently a model, an influencer, a motivator, and gym instructor. We had known each other for a very long time. We are good friends, but really never spoke about your journey. So you're currently a model, influencer, motivator, gym instructor, and so many other things.
Right.
And you're known for your progress on weight loss. So how did that happen? I used to be thin. Compared to how I am right now, I used to be thin back in school. Once I came here, it's all the food and all that, and I'm just fed. I don't see how I can get back to how I was. So what pushed you to start your weight loss? I wish I could show all the people who are listening to this your progress, but sadly I can't. So you probably should visit
You
profile on
can,
Instagram.
anyone can. All you have to do is just get bullied to the point where you feel like, you just need to give everyone a piece of your mind and show them instead of talking. Because I used to be a victim of bully ever since I was like 6, 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I started gaining weight at the age of 5 plus already. I used to be a very thin baby actually. I was a premature baby. Okay, and I was born after like 10 years. So when I was premature and everything, I couldn't eat so much. So when I couldn't eat so much, my parents started getting worried, like why couldn't your daughter eat? So they went to a doctor and the doctor started giving me like all these appetite pills. And after eating all these appetite pills was when I started getting like crazy hungry all the time. And whenever I used to get hungry, my parents used to get so happy because I rarely complain about getting hungry, and they used to buy like almost like all the junk food in the entire world, I can say, especially all this fried stuff and all this super oily stuff and everything. So I used to eat a lot. I can finish like five for 5 people of nasi goreng. I can eat by myself. That's how much I used to eat. Yeah, rice used to be my favorite. I can finish 2 Big Macs. Like whenever my dad buys a Big Mac for me and him, I used to eat like half or all his Big Mac when I was a kid. So I started gaining weight like really badly. And when I was about 7 years old, I was about 60 kgs already. So that's quite a huge thing. And my bullying started with my family members, like my relatives and everything. They all started commenting on like, oh, you've gained weight and you look so chubby and aren't you planning on losing weight? And all of this happened like when I was 7 itself. So all of these thoughts started getting to me when I was 7. And then I went to primary school. And the worst part was I didn't know how to speak Malay or any other language besides English. So that became a source of bullying. And then my weight was another factor. And it was very hard for me to make friends in primary. And all my friends used to call me names like, cow and barrel and all this kind of stuff. But I didn't really bother, until it came to a point when I was in secondary school. I think that is when all our insecurities and all our hormones start raging, like the whole teenage year. So at that time when I was 13, I was 104 kilos already. And when I joined when I joined my secondary school on the first day, it was already a nightmare for me because I fell down in front of everyone in the assembly. So I became like a laughing stock for them. And then when I went to class, I had to make friends from scratch because when you change schools from primary to secondary, it's all new faces now. So everyone there was like really super mean to the point I've never expected them to be that mean, especially people from other races, and they used to talk in their own language and everything, saying that, oh, she's disgusting, fat people are disgusting and they're smelly and, all this kind of stuff, like all this stereotyping shit. And I made friends with a few of like Indian girls and everything. And all these Indian girls used to put me down so much. They used to tell me that I'm so ugly, I'll never find like a boyfriend and, all this kind of sad stuff. And getting a boyfriend at that age was like, everyone's dream come true, because you're like 13 years old and all. And you want to just
I guess it was a trend. Your friend has a boyfriend.
Yeah,
You want to have one.
yeah, everyone just wants to like brag about their boyfriend, like, oh, I got this guy, he's so cute, and all this kind of shit. So I felt so left out, I was like, oh man, I can't fit in, and everyone's talking about pretty clothes and taking selfies, but then like I'm too insecure to even take a selfie. And I used to get this bullying used to get to me so much, but I didn't do anything about it. And when I was 15, that was when it hit me. Like I felt I had gone through so much of online harassment and also like verbal harassment in reality. I told myself like, okay, like, you know what? Let's just try being super serious and let's just see if I can lose weight by myself or not. So I went on the internet like Rajin Sikit, I just went how to diet and everything, and I had like a journal. So I used to write down like all my notes and everything. And then I started working out in my house. I didn't have the gym access because I was just a school kid, and your pocket money is already so less, you can't afford the gym. So PMR was also around the corner because I was 15. So I started working out at home. I stopped going to school so much because of the bullying. I worked out in the house, I studied in the house, I dieted in the house. And it took me about 3 to 6 months where I lost about 50 kgs from 104 to 53 kgs.
Wow. Okay. So although you had this whole bullying thing that was attacking you, right? But I'm sure there
Mhm.
must be at least one incident that really pushed you, like triggered you to like, what, I'm going to go lose weight. Was there any incident that you would want to share?
Um, Incident. I had actually a lot of stuff going on to the point I actually can't even remember like how much of harassment and bullying I had. Like when I was 13 plus age, I used to get really badly sexually harassed by guys, especially online. And that incident took me to this point where I told myself, like, I don't want to be known for this person, this girl that everyone thinks they know. Because, like, to be super honest, I'm going to be really blunt. There was this guy when I was 13 years old, and then like he was the first guy I ever dated online, and he forced me to send him nudes and everything, and it got out, and things were really bad for me at one point, and I just felt like I needed a change from it, and I needed to prove everyone that someone can really change if they want to, not only like attitude wise, but also like physical wise and mental wise and everything. So that was that one incident, because when my nudes got leaked after that, it was torture. Literally for years, it was torture and torture and torture to the point I felt like, I need to do something to make myself feel good. So that was one thing that really, really pushed me up.
Right. All right. So how did you handle the whole negative comments you were getting online and from school and all that?
After I lost weight, a lot of people started saying things like, oh, Joanna took drugs to lose weight and she took ice and everything. And I used to get so mad about that because I put in so much of effort and time to, lose weight, and it was not easy. Like my parents know because they're around me all the time and they've seen how much I suffer. And sometimes I end up crying and stuff because it's too painful and I feel like I can't go on. And in the end, I did it. So that's like my biggest accomplishment. And then when someone comes and tells me like, oh, you took drugs and you took this and you took that, it just pisses me off so much because like only you know how hard work is, and it started to get to me and I started fighting with a lot of people. But then I realized that, these people just want something to talk about and they just want to pick on you for something. Because when someone hates you, no matter how much you try to convince them that I did it the right way or I'm doing something right, they just don't want to listen. All they want to do is just find something to pick on. So I just let it slide, that whole drug topic and everything, because I believe that people around me know me better and I know myself better. And afterwards, when I entered the whole modeling industry, there was a lot of negative criticism, especially when it came to pageants and stuff like that, because they always comment on your body and everything. And it's sad lah. It's honestly sad lah for me sometimes, but I can say that I got used to it over time, to the point where now I just don't feel anything anymore. And it becomes like a source of entertainment to actually just reply all of them.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. So, how were you able to talk to your parents about what was happening, and how did your parents respond to it?
I did try talking to my parents about it, but when it comes to parents, they are like, oh, this kind of stuff is actually normal. Every kid goes through it, and it's vital that you go through it too. So they didn't really bother much, to be honest. And like, I couldn't keep going to them and telling them that, oh, this thing is bothering me over and over and over and over. Well, they get pissed. And my parents are the type where they just take no shit. And since I'm the only child, they always tell me that, oh, you should focus on studies more, you should focus on, school more, you should ignore all of this. And they put so much of pressure on me when it comes to academic wise. So I kind of gave up talking to them. I told myself that it's okay if they don't want to like help me out in this kind of stuff, and I let it slide. But then my dad was pretty supportive in certain parts lah. He used to always be there to console me and comfort me and tell me it's okay and everything. Like they weren't the type of parents to come to school and talk to the teacher saying that, oh, my daughter is going through this, you should do something to all the kids, no. But they would give me like mental strength at home for me to go and face them outside.
The sad reality is that some of the kids out there, they really don't mean to make any harm, but it's just that because their friends are being part of the whole wannabe cool kids, or they're bullying someone. So what you do is that you join them and you think it's cool just because your friends are doing it. So the whole idea is that if these kids are being educated on what's right and what's wrong, teaching them that bullying is wrong, that's when these kids are going to stop doing it. I think schools should be more concerned on what is happening at school, because most of the time schools are not taking seriously on what the kids are facing. So, example, a kid goes to a teacher and complains that, okay, this kid, seniors are bullying me. They don't take severe action then and there. So if they do, these kids are going to stop bullying. But sadly, we don't see that happening, and hence why all this bullying keeps, it takes one step to another step. And above all, I feel like home is where everything starts. So if we are able to talk to our parents about how the bullying is happening or what they are going through, and if the parents are able to stand up for them, advise them what to do, or maybe go to the school and talk to the teacher, that's when there would be a difference. Because most of the time we are taught, especially being an Asian, we are taught that, okay, it is happening, I think it's very normal, everyone goes through it, you should be okay with it, just go with the flow. That's the sad reality we live in. But if you look at Europe, you can look at US, their government is investing, they are making awareness of the whole bullying. We have seen videos that have been going viral over and over again. And when it comes to government has really bring in awareness, maybe conduct seminars, bring the awareness to parents, bring the awareness to teachers, bring the awareness to kids. That's when, you can help the community as a whole. If you're, the sad reality is that if you look into Asia, especially, whether it can be Malaysia, it can be Sri Lanka, India, Pakistan, doesn't matter where you're from. The truth is that, especially if you're going to a public university, all these rich kids, they bully all these new freshmen, newcomers and all that. And you don't really speak up because you're scared, he might be a son of a very powerful man. So you just go with the flow, and that's the sad reality. And this has led to suicide. This has led to many other things. We have seen in newspapers where students commit suicide. There was one case recently in Malaysia. A school kid committed suicide because his friends kept on bullying him. So that is the sad reality we are in right now.
Give as much impact as it should, because most of the time, to be truthful, even when I went through it, when they say that, oh, we have like a charama or seminar in school, the first thing we do is like, oh my god, you have to sit down and listen to this person talk for the next 1 hour, and all of us tend to get like so bored that we start talking and we don't really listen to what the person is saying. So sometimes that doesn't really work. But what can actually work is if severe punishment is given to those who bully, in the sense where like I don't know, like the discipline teachers or someone has to like do something about it, like give some severe detention. So people, like other people who are watching this one person go through that, wouldn't want to do that anymore. And in school nowadays, there's so much of rules where they say you can't touch the student, you can't hit the student, you can't like even yell at the student. And that's so not right, because it's like you're pampering your students to like do it more, and if you ask me, all these kids who bully are really insecure with themselves. They don't get attention at home. They don't get the love they deserve, which is why they tend to go out and take all the frustration and anger out on someone else. And some people do it because they feel like they don't want to get picked on. So in order for them not to get picked on, they bully someone else. So people get scared of them. That's one thing. And the bullies, they always find all these kids which are nerdy and quiet, and they personally know that this person won't stand up for themselves because they are like scared. So I believe that these introvert people should actually be brave enough to go and tell someone. If it's not the teacher, maybe a friend who can probably help them out in this, or open up to their parents and tell their parents like, I'm going through something like this and it's really affecting me. Not like the normal affecting, but really, really mentally affecting me to the point I don't want to go to school anymore. And if that doesn't work out, then they just have to brace themselves and go to a discipline teacher, despite what happens next. And the discipline teachers also have to make sure that the bully doesn't do anything to the person who complained. So it's like a whole system lah. It starts from home, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think everything has to start from home. The first step has to be from home.
Yeah.
So how do you feel when you look back? What would you tell yourself? Like, if you could talk back to when was the whole bullying? If 12, right? When you were 12.
Yeah, 7 actually, but then it became worse when I was 13. So
Okay, so if you could go back to your 13 years old, what would you tell yourself, and how would you feel?
I would give myself a hug, firstly, because that kid back there went through so much, and she was a loner and she didn't have anyone who stood up for her, and she was just all by herself. That girl used to write in her journal all the time whenever she was lonely and everything, and she got into a lot of deep shit. She did a lot of things which she shouldn't have done, but then I wouldn't blame her for that because she didn't have anyone with her to guide her properly in the sense of friends and family and everything. So the first thing I would tell her is to always stand up for herself and not be scared of whoever she was scared of before. Second thing was probably that love, the whole term love, doesn't come in the form of anything sexual. Like, you don't have to sexually please someone in order for them to love you. Love should come when you love a person for who they are. But then that girl didn't know what love was exactly, so she just went with whoever that talked a little few sweet words like, oh, you look pretty, and boom, like she's in love already, like, come marry me. So I'd probably tell her like, hold on, that is not what you think it is. Just wait a little longer, you're too immature. And yeah, that's one thing I would say lah to myself. I mean, I don't regret anything that happened, to be honest, because whatever that happened to me in the past is the reason why I am who I am today. If that did not happen back then, I would probably be that still quiet girl, still stupid girl, still naive girl, and I would be still getting myself into a lot more problems. So those are the few things I tell her.
So right now you're a model, and you were in Miss Selangor, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So how did that happen? And how was the
Okay,
whole
modeling.
journey as going through the whole Miss Selangor? I mean, what was the experience like?
Okay, so I started modeling when I was 17. Okay, and modeling was never my dream or anything. Like, after I lost weight, people just said that I should try it out. So I was telling myself, okay lah, let's just give it a shot and see how it goes. So I went for it, and it turned out really well. Okay, so I started getting a lot of offers, and a lot of people started approaching me and stuff. And then, like, I had one person who said that, oh, why don't you try joining a pageant? Because a pageant is how you actually gain exposure in the whole modeling industry and stuff like that. So I said, okay, lah, I'll give it a shot. So I joined this pageant, and then, like, I joined super late, okay, and I was pretty like new to all this competition thing because I'm only used to like photo shoots and stuff. So, like, all the other girls there were like really pissed at me because I joined really late and I got in somehow. And they got even more pissed off when I won the crown because they didn't expect me to actually win the crown. So they were like, oh, first you come late and then now you win the crown. So me being me, I'm like a really friendly person. Like, I talk to everyone openly and I'm very like open about things. And I didn't know how this whole pageantry thing works. I thought that everyone was generally nice and, perfect and polite and everything. And then when I went for the competition, that's when I actually realized like what pageantry actually was. And at one point, I was actually really happy when I won Miss Lango because that was like my first crown. I never imagined wearing a crown and anything, and it was a big honor. Like it was a big responsibility, and like after winning the crown, immediately I had like a lot of pressure from my organizers, from my sponsors. They were like, "Oh, you have to do really, 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 really well. Like you have to win the national crown and everything." So I had like a lot of pressure on me. I was like, "Oh shit, what am I going to do?" And then when I went for the national competition, that was when the whole pressure set in. Um, there were so many girls, and a lot of bullying happened there, and a lot of body shaming happened there. And to be honest, I ran away halfway from the pageant back home because I felt like I couldn't take it anymore. Yeah, I ran away halfway because I felt so pressurized. I wasn't used to that kind of pressure, so I just ran away. And then I came back, and then like we had like a meeting at home, and they told me that if I weren't gonna go back to compete for the whole thing again, I would lose my crown for Slango. And I did not want that to happen. I told myself like, oh no, I can't lose my first crown. This is so embarrassing. So I went back. So when I went back, a lot of them started the gossip lah, like, oh, she came back and all this kind of stuff. And it was so hard for me. It was really, really hard. My first pageant, like Miss Lango, was one of the most toughest pageant because that was my stepping stone, and it was already a huge deal, it's like world number 3 top pageant. So I was so stressed out. But somehow I managed to pull through. I went through all the body shaming phase and like everything, and I got top 12 in the finals, number 4, top 12. And after that, I told myself that, I'm going to take a break from all this competition stuff for a while. I'm going to like prepare myself really well before I go for my next one. So that's the story behind Miss Lango.
So are you still active in the whole Miss Selangor thing?
I am active after that in pageants. I joined my college pageant, and I got a lot of hate for that also. But I won second place, and then I won third place for Miss India Worldwide. And I joined like a few other stuff, but then like I didn't get through. But then like it was still an experience, So I just go for the experience mainly. Some pageants are like fully Malay verse pageants. Some pageants are like fully English, fully Tamil. So you get to learn a lot. Like you get to build yourself up in this kind of platforms. So I joined a few, and it was okay lah. But I officially retired already from pageants, so I'm going to focus more on other stuff.
Okay, that's nice. Good luck to you. So, being an Indian, I'm sure you must be getting a lot of negative comments. So, what kind of comments do you get, and how do you overcome them?
Okay. Sometimes, to be honest, I really wish I feel like I was actually born in like the wrong country, I would say, or like the wrong. I don't want to sound racist or anything, but oh my god, being an Indian to other people means that you can't wear anything revealing. You have to be a kuttu velakku in the house. You have to know how to cook. You have to know how to clean. You have to be perfect. You have to wear saris all the time. You have to be in traditional all the time, polite, sweet, and everything. But when it comes to me, I'm the total opposite. I'm like that rebel, I literally like walk out with crop tops and shorts, and like the lesser the clothing, the better for me. Ever since I lost weight, I'm trying to appreciate my body here, and like everyone's trying to tell me to put my clothes on when I used to be so insecure to even like, wear anything back then. And suddenly everyone's like, oh, you should wear this, you should wear that. I got so pissed off. I'm like, bro, I worked for this body, okay? It's not like the perfect body with the perfect set of everything, but I worked for this, and I think that I should be proud to wear what I want to wear after like many years of being bullied and everything. And the normal usual comments the minute you wear something sexy, the minute even a crop top. Indians call crop top bras. I really don't know why, but they look at that as bra. So you can imagine the mentality already. But they call me slut, they call me bitch, they call me prostitute, and all the Tamil bad words will come out lah. Wandi, Tevriya, this one, the one. I never knew that a girl who wears a crop top is immediately known as a Wandi or a bitch, because I don't think that's actually how you judge someone based on what they wear. And I get a lot of hate on my Instagram page as well, because I do all kinds of shoots, including nude shoots as well. But my nude shoots not nude lah, sampai you can see everything, it's like that. Nude, it's nude, but then you can't see it's nude. You get what I mean? Like I'm using something to cover and everything, and the pictures all look so sensual. Okay, they are like really nice pictures, and it gives a very moody vibe. And I don't know lah. To normal people, when they look at this kind of pictures, it becomes porn. So I get all the hate lah. They're like, "Oh, you're a porn star now," and I'm just like, "Bro, can you look at it in the art sense, please? Look at how beautiful the human body is. Can you see all the stretch marks and everything which you're supposed to love, but you always hate?" I swear, Sizan, it pisses me off so much. I can go on and on, but then yeah, I've been shit on all the time until today. And I recently, like a year ago, acted in this music video. Okay, the one also, it wasn't exactly how it's supposed to go, but then I got a truckload of shit for it just because I was wearing like a monokini, and I was with a guy wearing a monokini. So everyone, oh, the whole of Malaysian Indian community, I swear to God, like just started bashing me everywhere. Even on Facebook, they actually created this poster saying that fat girl lost weight to become a porn star. It was so bad. It was just so bad. That was the first time I actually knew what kind of mentality like a lot of Indian people have, and it's just so sad lah. Because if people are going to continue to have this kind of mentality, nothing is going to go far lah. That's all. Everyone's just going to be stuck in that one place, and no one is going to progress.
Right. So that's a very interesting thing to know. So you do
Was that
get.
a lot to handle?
I mean, it definitely is. I mean, I understand. There's a conflict between culture and things they say, but it just depends on how you see things, right? But
True.
I believe that everyone has their own freedom to do what they want, and throwing negative comments, like calling someone a slut or 1D or whatever it is, no one has the rights. No one has the rights to do it, regardless of what you're doing.
Exactly.
So that is, I didn't expect that. So is it, so do you think that online bullying is a thing right now?
Online bullying is definitely a thing. You see, like social media, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all this, supposed to be a medium for people to connect with each other, and supposed to be a medium to like get to know new people and all. But the current, I don't know lah, the current kids, the 20s kids, 2000 kids and all, these people make use of these platforms as a harassment place where they create fake accounts and fake profiles, and then they go and scam people. And not only that, they use it to harass someone with their nude pictures and anything. And it's horrible. I have had like about 50 to 80 fake accounts of myself throughout the entire time. And it's so horrible because they keep using the same picture over and over again. And the fake accounts are all named like, I don't know, Rishma, the purpley punna and everything. It's so disturbing, Sizan. I swear to God, like
I
I
mean,
cannot
do
lie.
you
And then
do you feel like, I mean, I don't understand what's the motive behind, I mean, okay, bullying at school, like in person, yeah, I understand what, as a kid, I understand, but I honestly don't understand the whole online bullying, because I do
online bullying
realize
is
it's
so easy. It's
like,
like, you know why?
why do you think these people are doing it?
Number one, they are cowards. They can't man up to someone's face to say it to their face, so they choose to do it over a computer. And number two, they don't use their fake accounts. They don't use the original accounts. They use their fake accounts because why use their original accounts and get exposed and be labeled as a bad person when you can create another account just like that with a fake identity and a fake picture and harass the living life out of someone and then just delete the account. You get what I mean? Like it's so much more
Okay.
easier. Honestly, social media has made it so much more easier for people to start bullying and harassing someone with their nudes and everything. And the police can't even catch them because the police don't even know who they are. It's so easy to get away with it because, like in real life, people know you and people witness you and they see you doing it. But online, you're just like a different person with a different identity. So it's so easy lah. A lot of people get targeted. Until now, I still get fake accounts harassing me on Instagram, on Twitter especially. Oh my God, the bullying on Twitter. Actually, Twitter people are quite brave lah. They harass each other in public, just like that. I've seen
I mean,
so many comments saying that, oh,
at least that is something, you're coming out as your own profile, rather than using someone
correct.
else. So I
insecure still. There are times where I feel like I'm the old me. I feel like I carried the whole baggage when I was 13 until now. Like some part of her still is here. So I tend to judge myself a lot. Like, I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, this not enough, that not enough. Like there are times where I don't appreciate myself also. Lah. But then like I still remind myself like you came so far, so do not put yourself down like that, and I'm up the next day.
Okay, so one last question. What's a message that you would give to someone who is being bullied online or being bullied?
I would tell them that number one, whatever the bully is saying to you isn't true. That's one thing. Like whatever people tell you, their opinion should their opinion should not matter, because the only opinion that should matter is the opinion you have on yourself. And number two, if you're getting bullied, please stand up for yourself, because nobody else is going to do it for you if it's not you. And it might look like the most difficult thing at that point, but the minute you do it, you are going to see changes. Because when a like victim of bullying stands up for themselves, the bullies take two steps back because they did not expect you to do that. Bullies are always expecting you to be the one which is always scared and giving in to whatever they say. But the minute you try and defend yourself, they get paranoid. And then they might seem a bit more extra towards you. But if, as long as you keep standing up for yourself, they leave you alone because they find that, yeah, this person, no point la bullying. It isn't getting to her, and it just stops. So that's one thing. Or if you are the type where you feel like you can't do that, make sure you have someone to talk to and make sure you voice out this problem. Do not keep it within you all the time, because bullying these days can get really, really bad to the extent where I've heard cases like Naveen and everything where you can get, I don't know, stabbed by people, you can get like whacking and everything, and people take it to the next level. So before we go there, it's always better to be cautious and to talk about it to someone, because once it happens, and if you survive and go through that, it's going to scar you for life, where every little thing in the future is going to remind you of that one incident. So try not to be that afraid person, and always try to stand up for yourself and put yourself first. And as for those who are bullying others out there, the only advice I would say is love yourself, because it clearly shows that you don't love yourself if you're going to bully someone else. And you're facing a lot of insecurity, and you're just not happy with the place you're in or with who you are as a person. So always remember that self-love is very important. Put yourself first and think of other people in their shoes, because the scar you leave on them can be the scar that takes their life the next day, and you don't want that to happen. You don't want someone else's blood on your hands. So think about that and start something new with your life. That's all I say. Like, just if you already are bullying right now and you're listening to this and you're feeling really shitty about yourself, because you most probably are a shitty person, wake up the next day and remind yourself that you're not a shitty person and you can change things. And you can also be the bigger person and apologize to the person you have bullied before, or you are bullying now, and stand up for that person when other people bullies that person instead. You'll see magic happen. Yeah, simple as that.
Okay, I think that was a very, very strong message. Thank you for sharing your story with us today. I mean, I
No
really appreciate
worries.
you coming out and speaking about it. So thank
No
you once
worries.
again.
I'm so
Okay, now
glad
we
to
can.
be here.
I hope you all got the message from Joanna's story. Do follow Mugshot for more episodes coming soon. And thank you for tuning in. Much love. Take care.